Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Prabhu
Ram Ram Hare
Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri
Nityananda
Advaita
Sri Advaita
Gadadhara Shivasa
Prabhupada
Adi
Sri
Gaura
Vasi Gaura
Bhaktavinda.
Bhakta
Jai Shri Krishna
Jai Shri Krishna
Chaitanya,
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda, Shri
Nityananda Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara Shivasa
Gadadhara
Adi
Sri
Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Vasi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Saturday. It is 21st of June and it is Ashadha Masa, Vamana Masa, Krishna Paksham and Ekadasi Tithi. So there are two Vaishnava events today. One is the Yogini Ekadashi, fasting from grains, beans, cereals. Some devotees, they choose to fast from completely even from the water as well. Some after the devotees, so they follow that. And some of the devotees, they take only the milk. Some of the devotees, they take even the fruits as well. Some of the devotees, they take some of the vegetables as well. Okay, but not having too many seeds within those fruits or the grains, fruits or the vegetables. But completely no grains, beans, and cereals like that. Okay, so that is Yogini Ekadashi. And another event is the disappearance of Srivasa Pandit, so who is the fifth member of the Panchtattva. So we shall read some line from the ISKCON about Yogini Ekadasi Vrata. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to read this Katha, Ekadasi Katha, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, this week may I read the Prabhupada letter? Somebody else can read this. I haven't read the letter for a long time.
Okay, yes, sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so can I request Sikhi Mataji, would you like to read this Ekadashi Katha?
Hare Krishna. Yudhishthir Maharaj said, O Supreme Lord, I have heard the glories of Nirjala Ekadasi, which occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Jayasta, May, June. Now I wish to hear from you about the Sudha Ekadasi that occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Ashada, June, July. Kindly describe to me all about it in detail. O killer of the Madhu demon, Madhusudhana. The Supreme Lord Shri Krishna then replied, O king, I shall indeed tell you about the best of all fasting days, the Ekadasi that comes during the dark part of the month of Ashada, famous as Yogini Ekadasi. It removes all kinds of sinful reactions and awards supreme liberation. O best of kings, this Ekdasi delivers people from who are drowning in the vast ocean of material existence and transports them to the shore of the spiritual world. In all three worlds, it is the chief of all sacred fasting days. I shall now reveal this truth to you by narrating his history recounted in the Puranas. The king of Alkapuri, Kuvera, the treasurer of the Devas, demigods, was a steadfast devotee of Lord Shiva. He employed a servant named Himamali as his personal gardener. Himamali, a yaksha like Kuvera, was very lustfully attracted to his gorgeous wife, Swarupavati, who had large, enchanting eyes. Himali's daily duty was to visit Manasarovara lake and bring back flowers for his master, Kuvera, with which he would use them in puja offerings to Lord Shiva. One day, after picking the flowers, Himamali went to his wife instead of returning directly to his master and fulfilling his duty by bringing flowers for the puja. Absorbed in loving affairs of a bodily nature with his wife, he forgot to return to the abode of Kuvera. O king, while Himamali was enjoying with his wife, Kuvera had begun the worship of Lord Shiva as normal in his palace, and soon discovered that there were no flowers ready to be offered in the midday puja. The lack of such important item, Apashara, angered the great Koshadyaksha, treasurer of the Devas, even more, and he asked a Yaksha messenger, why has dirty-hearted Himamali not come with the daily offerings of flowers? Go find out the exact reason and report back to me in person with your findings. The Yaksha returned and told Kuvera, "O dear Lord Himamali has become lost in freely enjoying courteous with his wife." Kuvera became extremely angry when he heard this, and at once summoned lowly Himamali before him. Knowing that he had been remiss and dawdling in his duty and exposed his meditating on his wife's body, Himamali approached his master in great fear. The gardener first paid his obeisances and then stood before his lord, whose eyes had become red with anger and whose lips trembled in rage. So enraged, Kuvavari cried out to Himamali, "You sinful rascal, O destroyer of religious principles, you are a walking offense to the Devas. I therefore curse you to suffer from white leprosy and to become separated from your beloved wife. Only great suffering is deservedly yours. O low-born fool, leave this place immediately and betake yourself to the lower planets to suffer." And so Himamali fell at once from grace to Alakapuri and became ill with the terrible affliction of white leprosy. He awoke in a dense and fearful forest where there was nothing to eat or drink. Thus he passed his days in misery, unable to sleep at night due to pain. He suffered in both winter and summer seasons, but because he continued to worship Lord Shiva himself with faith, his consciousness remained purely fixed and steady. Although implicated by great sin and its attendant reactions, he remembered his past life because of his pity. After wandering for some time here and there, over mountains and across plains, Himamali eventually came upon a vast expanse of the Himalayan mountain ranges. There he had a wonderful good fortune to come in contact with the great saintly soul, Markandeya Rishi, the best of ascetics, whose duration of life, it is said, extends to the 7 days of Brahma. Markandeya Rishi was seated peacefully at ashrama, looking as effulgent as a second Brahma. Himamali, feeling very sinful, stood at a distance from the magnificent sage and offered his humble obeisances and choice prayers. Always interested in welfare of others, Markandeya Rishi saw the leper and called him near. "Oh, you, what sort of sinful deeds have you done to earn this dreadful affliction?" Hearing this, Himamali, painfully and ashamed, replied, "Dear sir, I am Yaksha, servant of Lord Kuvera, and my name is Himamali. It was my daily service to pick the flowers from Manasarovara lake for my master's worship of Lord Shiva. But one day I was neglectant and was late in returning with the offering because I had become overwhelmed with lusty passion for enjoying bodily pleasures with my wife. When my master discovered why I was late, he cursed me in great anger to be as I am before you. Thus, I am now bereft of my home, my wife, and my service. But fortunately, I have come upon you, and now I hope to receive from you an auspicious benediction, for I know that devotees such as you are merciful as Supreme Lord Bhakta Vatsala, and always carry the interest of others uppermost in their hearts. That is your nature, O best of sages, please help me." Soft-hearted Markandeya Rishi replied, "Because you have told me the truth, I shall tell you about a fast day that will benefit you greatly. If you fast on the Ekadasi that comes during the dark fortnight of the month of Ashada, you will surely be free of this terrible curse." Himamali fell to the ground in complete gratitude and offered him his humble obeisances again and again. But Markandeya Rishi stood there and lifted poor Himamali to his feet, filling him with inexpressible happiness. Thus, as the sage has instructed him, Himamali dutifully observed the Ekdasi fast, and by its influence he again became a handsome yaksha, then returned home where he lived happily with his wife. Lord Krishna concluded, so you can readily see, O Yudhishthir, that fasting on Yogini Ekdasi is very powerful and auspicious. Whatever merit one obtains by feeding 88,000 Brahmins is also obtained simply by observing a strict fast on Yogini Ekdasi. For one who fasts on this sacred Ekdasi, she, Ekdasi Devi, destroys heaps of past sinful reactions and makes them most pious. O King, thus I have explained to you the purity of Yogini Ekdasi. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Ashada Krishna Ekdasi or Yogini Ekdasi from Brahma Vayavarta Purna. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Yogini Ekadashi ki Jaya. Thank you, Mataji. So that is from the Yogini Ekadashi perspective. And from another event is the Srivasa Pandit Disappearance Day. So just I read a few lines only. I have shared this one already in the WhatsApp group. So there are few pastimes of Srivasa Pandita. So this Sankirtana movement has started from the Srivasa Pandita's home, and he is 50 member of the Panchtattva. So one night, while Kirtana was going on inside Srivas Thakura's house, a Brahmana named Gopala Chapala, the chief of the non-believers, who was talkative and very rough in his speech, placed all the paraphernalia for worshipping the goddess Durga outside Srivas Thakura's door. And on the upper portion of a plantain leaf, he placed such paraphernalia for worship as vodapula, turmeric, vermilion, red sandalwood, and rice. He placed a pot of wine beside all this, and in the morning, when Srivasa Thakur opened his door, he saw this paraphernalia. Srivas Thakur called for all the respectable gentlemen of the neighborhood and smilingly addressed them as follows. Gentlemen, every day I worship the goddess Bhavani, since the paraphernalia for the worship is present here. Now all you respectable Brahmanas and members of the higher caste can understand my position. Then all the assembled gentlemen exclaimed, what is this? What is this? Who has performed such mischievous activities? Who is that sinful man? They called for a sweeper, Hadi, who threw all the items of worship far away and cleansed the place by mopping it with a mixture of water and cow dung. After 3 days, leprosy attacked Gopala Chapala and blood oozed from the sores all over his body. Incessantly covered with germs and insects biting him all over his body, Gopala Chapala felt unbearable pain. His entire body burned in distress. Since leprosy is an infectious disease, Gopal Chapla left the village to sit down on the bank of the Ganges underneath a tree. One day, however, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing by and spoke to him as follows. My dear nephew, I am your maternal uncle in our village relationship. Please see how greatly this attack of leprosy has afflicted me. As an incarnation of God, you are delivering so many fallen souls. I am also a greatly unhappy fallen soul. Kindly deliver me by your mercy. Hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared greatly angry, and in that angry mood, he spoke some words chastising him. O sinful person, envious of the pure devotees, I shall not deliver you, rather, I shall have you bitten by these gems for millions of years. You have made Srivasthakur appear to have been worshipping the goddess Bhavani. Simply for this offense, you will have to fall down into hellish life for 10 million births. I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons, passion days, and after killing them, to preach the cult of devotional service. After saying that, the Lord left to take his bath in the Ganges, and that sinful man did not give up his life but continued to suffer. When Sri Chaitanya, after accepting the renounced order of life, he went to Jagannath Puri and then came back to the village of Pulia. Upon his return, that sinful man took shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord, being merciful to him, gave him instructions for his benefit. You have committed an offense at the lotus feet of Srivastapura. The Lord said, first you must go there and beg for his mercy, and then if he gives you his blessings and you do not commit such sins again, you will be freed from these reactions. Then the Brahmana Gopala Chapala went to Srivastapura and took shelter of his lotus feet, and by Srivastapura's mercy, he was freed from all sinful reactions. Okay, and also there is another pastime about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caused the dead son to speak about the knowledge, and then the two brothers personally became the sons of Srivastapura. So that is another pastime. I have shared that one. So, and another pastime is that there are innumerable devotees of Lord, of whom Srivastapura is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times onto their lotus feet. Shri Nityananda Goswami is directly Haladhara, Lord Balarama, and Advaita Acharya is the personality of Godhead himself. These two captains, with their soldiers such as Srivastapura, travel everywhere, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Okay, so there is further pastimes, and I just stop there about the events perspective about Srivastapura. Okay, so that is from the events perspective, Yogini Ekadasi and Srivastapura's disappearance day. Okay, so now for now, we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Buddha was speaking to Vijaya, so describing the Krishna's pastimes. So Krishna and all his family members, they have reached to the Prabhasa Kshetra. So in the Prabhasa Kshetra, so they have taken the bath and they have offered oblations to the demigods and rishis and forefathers with the holy waters of the Prabhasa Kshetra. And then later on, they have given in charity to the Brahmanas so many items. So tatra snatva pitrun devan dushim shaiva tad ambhasa tarpayitva ata viprebhyo gavo bahuguna daduhu. And they have given even the cows, gavo bahuguna daduhu, the cows in charity and many other items. So likewise, Uddhava is speaking to Vidura. So, and what are the items they have given in charity? So Uddhava is describing here. So this charity is given to the Brahmanas, Viprebhyaha. So likewise, we are continuing here. They have Krishna's family, they have given the gold, cows, and gold coins, and beds, and also dresses, and animal skins or the deer skins for performing their austerities and penances, so for their worship, and also the horses and chariots and elephants, and also girls, unmarried girls, and also the land, and also the employment to the Brahmanas. So likewise, all these things are given to the Brahmanas by Krishna's family. Likewise, Buddha is saying, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 27. Hiranyam rajitam seyyam vasamsi ajinakam balan yanam ratan ibhan kanya dharam vritti karimapi. Hiranyam, the gold, rajitam, gold coins, seyyam, bedding, vasamsi, clothing, ajina is the animal skin for seats, and kambalan, blankets, yanam, horses, radhan, chariots, ibhan, elephants, kanyaha, girls, dharam, land, and vritti karim, to provide livelihood, api also. So all these items they have provided to the Viprebhyaha. So tarpayitva ata Viprebhyo gava bahuguna daduhu. So these are meant only to give in charity to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. The translation for this shloka. The Brahmanas were not only given well-fed cows in charity, but also gold coins, bedding, clothing, animal skin seats, blankets, horses, elephants, girls, and sufficient land for maintenance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. Okay, can I request Ramlala Prabhuji if available to read the purport?
Hare Krishna. all these charities were meant for Brahmana whose lives were devoted entirely to the welfare of society, both spiritually and materially. The Brahmanas were not giving their service as paid servant, but the society provided them with all necessities. It was arranged for some of Brahmanas who were in difficulty for marriage to be given girls. The Brahmana therefore had no economic problem. The Kshatriya kings and rich mercantile men would provide them with all that they needed, and in exchange, the Brahmanas were completely devoted to the elevation of society. That was the way of social cooperation between the different castes. When the Brahmana class or caste gradually become uh, easygoing, being fed by the society, although they had no Brahmanical qualification, they degraded themselves into Brahmana Bandhu or disqualified Brahmana. And thus, other members of the society also gradually fell down from the social standard of progressive life. As described in Bhagavad Gita, the caste systems in the creation of the Lord and is arranged according to the quality of work rendered to the society and not in terms of birthright as falsely claimed in the present degraded society. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. So here Prabhupada is describing all these charities were meant for the Brahmanas whose lives were devoted entirely to the welfare of society, but both spiritually and materially. So even in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so one has to perform these charities. Yajnadana tapaha karma natyajyam karma evatar yajnodanam tapasyaiva pavanani manishinam. So this yajna, dana, tapaha, karma, it will purify even the great rishis, manishinam, even the great souls. So one should never give up these activities, even though he is in the elevated position. Natyajam, karyam evatat. And how he needs to do? Etani apitu karmani sangam tyaktva palani cha. So one should not expect any results out of those charities given. Yajna, dana, tapaha, karma. He should not expect any results to be attained or to enjoy the results of those activities. And just like how it needs to be performed, kartavyani iti me partha. Kartavyani, this is my duty. In such a way, one has to perform. Kartavyani iti me partha. Nishitam matam uttamam. That is the best thing to consider. Nishitam. It's a definite opinion. Uttamam, the best. So that Krishna mentions. One, as a matter of duty, one has to perform that sacrifice, that yajna, dana, tapah, karma. And also here, in the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna again he mentions and three kinds of the charities. दातव्यमिति यद्दानं दीयते अनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्. And what kind of charities are to be done? Deshe kale cha patre cha tadhanam satvikam smritam. Based on time, places, and circumstances. Desha, the place, kala is the time, cha patre cha, who is the patra is means one who is the desirable to receive, a suitable person, patre cha. And tadhanam satvikam smritam. And if you are, that is as a matter of duty, that is called satvika. And if you are just expecting some results out of those charities or those things, then ditecha pariklistam tadhanam rajasam smritam. And where yettu pratyupakarardham palam muddhisya va punaha. And you have given some charity. So sometimes we see some of the organizations, they give charity to the government, but in return they expect something in the behind. So government do some favor. That is in the Rajasam Smritam, Tadhanam Rajasam Smritam. So this is the Rajasam. And Adesha Kale Yadhanam Apatrebhyasya Diyate Asatkrutam Avadhyatam Tattamasam Udahrutam. And here Adesha Kale Yadhanam. It is inappropriate place, inappropriate time. Yadhan, whatever the charity performed, Apatrebhyasya, and who is not destined to receive this charity. Sometimes we see in the streets, in the where the pubs and the alcohol is selling in the dirty places instead of the temples. So the dirty places, they are taking some kind of cups and asking for money. So that is adesha, that is improper place, and kalecha, improper time. So it is the time in the where they are performing sinful activities. So such kind of the dhanam is the tamasam. It is mode of ignorance. So here, all this Krishna's family, they are giving in the holy place, pilgrimage. That is the prabhasam. And they are giving for the brahmanas. They are the right people to receive the charity. Viprebhya. And what they are giving? Hiranyam, Rajatam Seyam Vasamsi Ajinakam Bhalan Yanam Ratan Ibhan Kanya Dharamrutti Karimapi. All these are given to the Brahmanas. And these Brahmanas were not giving the services as paid servants, but the society provided them with all the necessities. So Brahmanas are meant for to serve the society in their capacity. So again, Krishna mentions they are always engaged in the services. What is the semodamaha tapaha saucham kshantihi adhyomevacha dhanam vidhyanamastikyam brahma karma subhavajam. So they are engaged in they are very peaceful, self-controlled, austerity, and pure, tolerant, honesty, and they are situated in the knowledge and wisdom. Jnanam vijnanam astikyam is religiousness, brahma karma subhavajam. Because of those qualities, they never work for someone else. So they're always independent and devoted themselves to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also they provide their services to the society in free. So they're always merciful to everyone. So it was arranged for some of the Brahmanas who were in difficulty for marriage to be given girls. Even girls also used to give in charity. And the Brahmanas therefore had no economic problems. The Kshatriya kings and rich merchantmen would provide them with all that they needed. And in exchange, the Brahmanas were completely devoted to the elevation of the society. So this is the duty. So they guide. Shatkarmani Pro Mantra Tantra Visharadaha. So by their skills, they lead the society, they help the society for spiritually. Exchange, the Brahmanas were completely devoted to the elevation of the society. That is their duty. And that was the way of social cooperation between the different castes. Again, whenever Brahmanas are engaged in leading the society, so अतो हि अन्योन्यम् आत्मानं ब्रह्मचत्रं च रक्षतः रक्षत स्म अव्ययो देवः स यः सद् असदात्मकः. And Brahmanas are also give good instructions to the Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas give protection to the Brahmanas. Kshatriyas give protection to the Brahmanas. When there is a proper cooperation, Brahmachatram Charakchataha, the Lord will protect everyone. Lord will protect everyone. He is Sad Asad Atmakaha. He is in the heart of all the living entities. And he is the source of cause and effect. So that was the way of social cooperation between different castes. When the Brahmanas class or caste gradually became easygoing, being fed by the society, although they had no Brahminical qualifications, they degraded themselves into Brahma Bandhus or disqualified Brahmanas, and thus other members of society also gradually fell down from the social stand of progressive life. So again, there is one statement is given, like I think Bruhat Smriti Purana. There it is. यो वेत्ति भौतिकं देहं कृष्णस्य परमात्मनः स सर्वस्मात् बहिष्कार्यः स्रौतस्माद्धविदानतः. So these Brahma bandhus who are not following the Brahminical culture, so they must be rejected from the Srautasmartha Vidanatah, because they are thinking that yo veti bhautikam deham, because why they are not engaged, they think that Krishna is not the supreme personality of God. Krishna is also like ordinary person. Yo veti bhautikam deham krishnasya paramatmanah sa sarvasmad bahishkaryah, and they need to be rejected from the activities. What are they? Smartha sraut smartha srauta smartha vidanatah. So from these activities, they must be rejected, who are not the devotees of Krishna, who does not know the philosophy of Krishna. And if one sees there, Sachelam Snanam Acharet, if once Tatyavaloka Mukam, if one sees such kind of people, one has to take bath, Sachelam Snanam Acharet, and put the water on top of their body just like that, as it is with their clothes on. So that kind of statements are given in the Shastras. So Brahmana's qualifications is he must be following the Vedic injunctions very strictly, without any degradation. As described in the Bhagavad Gita, the caste system is the creation of the Lord and is arranged according to the quality of work rendered to society and not in terms of birthright, as falsely claimed in the present degraded society. This is Chaturvarni Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. Krishna again says, this one is Chaturvarni Maya Srishtam. Lord has created this, the Varnashrama Dharma, Chaturvarni Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha, based on the quality and also activity. Quality and activity. Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. So these are coming from the Bhagavad Gita. So, but at the moment, the society is like a degraded. So Brahmanas, they are also coming into the IT industries and the different kinds of industries. They are meant for only devotional service to Krishna, not to depend on this for any particular person. So again, there it is mentions Swavit Viraha Ushtrakarehi Samstaha Purushaha Pasuhu Naitkarna Patopetu Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha. If one is appreciating for his employment about appreciating his seniors like the manager, someone like that, then for the sake of his employment and livelihood, Swavit Viraha Ushtrakarehi Samstaha Purushaha Pasuhu, they are being compared with a dog, a donkey, and a pig, and a camel, the four kinds of animals. Because we are those people are those people are appreciating non-devotees. That's why they are categorized into these four kinds of animals. Swavit viraha ustrakarehi samstaha purushaha pasuhu naitkarna patopetu jatu nama gadagrajaha. So, but Brahmanas are meant only to glorify Krishna, not to the degraded people. They are not meant to work for some other people who are not the devotees of the Lord, and they must be engaged in the devotional service. Okay, so This is about what Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport. So here, Uddhava is mentioning what and all the charity given to the Brahmanas, these different items. Hiranyam Rajitam Sayyam Vasam Ajina Kambalan Yanam Datam Ibhan Kanya Dharam Vritti Karimapi. Dharam Vritti Karimapi. Vritti Karim. Provide the livelihood. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jaya. Okay, we shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. Okay, so today it is letter to letter. Letter to Hansidatta, September 2nd, 1970, Calcutta. Okay, can I request Sanjita Mataji to read this letter, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. My dear Hamsaduta, please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your letter dated 23rd August as well as the German Zurich zur Gottheit. This masthead was submitted to me by Jaya Govinda and I approved of it, but I advised him to put the words back to Godhead as it is. The idea is that the original name back to Godhead, even it goes to foreign country, it should continue to be the same. As you can see from other important magazines like Life and Time, they are distributed in foreign countries in the same name without being translated into local language. If you think that such change will be more convenient, I have no objection. Such change means instead of back to Godhead, Zuruk zur Gottheit. Regarding the poisonous effect in our society, it is a fact, and I know where from this poison tree has sprung up and how it affected practically the whole society in a very dangerous form. But it does not matter. Prahlad Maharaj was administered poison, but it did not act. Similarly, Lord Krishna and the Pandavas were administered poison, and it did not act. I think in the same parampara system, that the poison administered in our society will not act if some of our students are as good as Prahlad Maharaj. I have therefore given the administrative power to the governing body commission. I have tried to give you all Krishna consciousness. Now it is your duty to develop it. If you remain strong on the spiritual platform, then your progress will not be checked or blocked. I do not know what was resolved in New Brindavan, although Shriman Rupanuga Prabhu has informed others that he has sent a tape in this connection. I am still in darkness about the proceedings in New Vrindavan, but I have heard that Brahmananda is preaching about me, that I am Krishna, that I am super soul, that I have withdrawn my mercy from the disciples, that I have left the society, and so on. I do not know how far they are correct, but I have written him a letter that he may not do something which may harm the interest of the society. You are also one of the members of the GBC, so you can think over very deeply how to save the situation. It is a fact, however, that the great sinister movement is within our society. I have not heard anything from Krishnadas or Shyam Sundar, so all of you may try to save the society from this dangerous position. So far, my coming here, it appears that it was Krishna's desire. There was a very good reception in the airport, and the public opinion is that it is the unique reception so far given to any VIP man. Here in India, especially in Bengal, the political conditions are not very good. Everyone is feeling some sort of anxiety due to the political condition. So I've given them a sort of hope that if they take to Krishna consciousness, their problems will be solved. It is not my mental concoction, but I believed in the words of Narottam Das Thakur that the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda is as cooling effectively as the combined moonshines of millions of moon. So I am sure anyone taking shelter of Krishna consciousness movement will be happy. Please try to push this movement on this process. Offer my blessings to Himavati. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your Very well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jaya. Thank you, Mataji. Any points Mataji wanted to highlight in this letter?
Yes, Prabhu, a few points. Prabhupada here is writing to Hansadutta firstly about the magazine where he is giving a suggestion that uh, in the Back to Godhead magazine, it's better, though he was propagating the movement in Germany and he wanted the magazine was Back to Godhead magazine was translated in German language, but he said still you can keep the name of the magazine as Back to Godhead, and Hamsadutta think he has suggested Zuruk Zur Godhead, which means Back to Godhead. But Prabhupada gave some examples that some famous magazines like Time and Life, they are distributed in different foreign countries, but the name is still the same on the first cover page. So it would be nice if he keeps it that way. But Prabhupada is so flexible. He said, if it helps you, it's more convenient. Then I have no objection. Then he's okay to translate the name to Germany if he thinks he can get more people into the Krishna consciousness movement. Then he's okay with keeping the name. This is one. And then he was mentioning about some things which were not right going in the society. In New Vrindavan, where the temple had been newly formed and there has been false propagation and teachings by one of his disciples. But Prabhupada very nicely and firmly given a nice analogy that, though at some corners it's a big the society was growing and Prabhupada could not be there all the time to guide personally to all the disciples. So, sometimes people out of their own will, they do something. But Prabhupada gave a very nice analogy that though this is a poisonous effect which is harming our society, but even though it's dangerous, it should not matter. It didn't. And he gave this analogy of Prahlad Maharaj, like he was given poison, but it did not affect him. Similarly, Lord Krishna, when Putana tried to feed her with her breast milk, she gave her poison, but it did not affect her. Pandavas were given poison, but it did not affect her. So he's giving the same way our parampara, even though the poison administered in some parts of the society, but here a very important word is some. Some of our students are as good as Prahlad Maharaj. So even if if the society has got thousands of members, but if some are very sincere, but very purity is the force, as they say, and books as a basis, and Prabhupada's Vani, everything they follow and all the regulative principles. Only if even some students do that, they are as good as Prahlad Maharaj. Then he has firm belief that the society can be saved, and he said to do this he has given administrative powers to the GBC so that they can take the correct remedial actions. And here he mentions that, yeah, in this connection, I think he said that tape was sent to him by Rupanuga Prabhu about the things which are happening in New Vrindavan, and how Brahmananda was preaching that he was Krishna, and he had withdrawn his mercy from the disciples and he has left the society, but they are not correct. I just wanted to add a point that Brahmananda, he was considered as, son of Prabhupada. He was one of the first disciple, as well as his brother Gargamuni. They were one of the first disciples, and they took the movement from strength to strength. Like he was not only spiritually but emotionally very much dependent and attached to Prabhupada. So when he's saying all this, he is Krishna. Maybe it's his emotion which is speaking. And because Prabhupada had to travel and he could not be there in America all the time, so he's saying that Prabhupada has left his disciple. So, we sometimes, when we are emotional, even when we love, suppose we love our children, but we say such things that maybe sometimes in anger or sometimes when we are upset, such things which we do not mean actually. So what Brahmananda must have said here, he did not mean them, but of course, people when being in such position, when they're preaching such things, then it has got a ripple effect, and the society gets affected. So this was not taken into consideration. So Prabhupada, he said, this needs to be corrected, and it will affect the sincere movement within the society. And he asked Shyam Sundar and Krishnadas to give some update, but he hadn't heard from them. And he's mentioning that Prabhupada mentions that he got a very nice reception when he reached Bengal, like a VIP, and he was very happy about it. But the people of Bengal, they were, not had some anxiety because of the political conditions. At that time, it was the communist movement. Now it's the Congress, Trinamool Congress. It's the same. The political condition in Bengal hasn't changed, though they have so much mercy, like with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being from that land, Srila Prabhupada, but then still these things go on. So Prabhupada, he said they want to practice Krishna consciousness, but they are anxious that, even now we hear from Vrindavan Prabhu, who is trying to do the Rath Yatra there, he still thinks he has got anxiety that the political movement there might affect. So still going on, but it's Krishna's mercy and mercy of his great devotees who help. So here Prabhupada says, I believe in the words of Narottam Das Thakur that the shelter of his, if we hold on to the shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, then he, and Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Shoshitala. So we get the cooling effect of millions of moon. So without him, we cannot get the mercy of Radha and Krishna. So we have to hold on tightly to the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, and he will help us. If we take his shelter, then everybody who is practicing Krishna consciousness will be happy, and it will help to move our movement, help to push our movement. So that's what he wants from all his disciples, that you take the shelter of the Panchatattvas and the Guru Parampara, and they will sometimes we are not pure enough to reach Radha Krishna directly. So that's why we have these acharyas, the Sat Goswamis, the Panchatattvas. He's guiding that we should take their shelter, so that we can help in progress in this movement. And he's giving his blessings to his wife, Himavati. That's all, Prabhu, from my side. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. It's a long letter, but you have nicely summarized. You can explain. Thank you so much. Okay, any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Any reflection? Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Actually, Prabhupada highlighted here in the down whatever you mentioned in the last point. Actually, in the Bengal, he was very upset about India, especially in Bengal people. Although in the present, the ruler is name of Brahmana, actually they are Brahma Bandhu. So they are very degraded, and society also very too much anxiety, political anxiety, and people are not accepting Krishna consciousness. So, but here this analogy also Sanjit Mataji mentioned, because we have some very good devotee, even they are they are doing propaganda or spreading poison, but it will not affect us. So they are, especially for example, another example, Pandava, even the house was burned, but they are not affected. So every condition they are resistant for this thing, but we have to our sincerity, our enthusiasm, then Krishna will protect us, and His name will spread it. The name will spread long and long time according His will. So that's why that He gave the responsibility to the devotee. He has given all the, so that the devotee has to practice properly and they have to preach correctly. So, so this is actually mentioned about the society, about how to do and how to. And this is another example. Nitai Pada Kamala Kotisandra Sushitana. Because we are sheltering to Nitai Nityananda Prabhu, and we will be happy because this moonlight giving us a special peaceful condition. So and Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada always giving us the preach the thought the message. You will be a safe condition in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. You have to believe it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for kindly sharing those details. And Sikhi Mataji, do you have got any comments or you wanted to share anything, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I don't have any comments. I did have one question. What does it mean by New Vrindavan?
New Vrindavan, it is West Virginia, so in America, in the West Virginia. So that
Okay,
a big temple is constructed, so it is named as New Vrindavan.
thank you.
And
Perfect.
we
Next.
have now new Vrindavan, new Mayapur, new Jagannath Puri, what is it? New Dwarka.
Now,
For example, in France, we have the new Mayapur. So in America, a lot of new Vrindavan, new Dwarka. So many places. So everything linked with Dham. Dham. Yes. Like this.
Even in Hungary, yeah, Prabhu, and Hungary Navabraja Dham. So it's again done by Shivram Maharaj. So, Mataji, so all these temples, the dhams actually are in India. But when, the ISKCON movement spread and they also wanted to have their own temple, so they kept the same names of the dham, but adding the word new, that new Vrindavan, as Prabhu mentioned, new Mayapur, Navabraja Dham, so like that. So it's still the dham, but with a new name. So yeah,
Thank you, Mataji. That makes sense.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And Prabhu, yeah, just one more point I wanted to add, like, how strong our movement is, like, where Prabhupada mentioned that some of you just pray like Prahlad Maharaj, then the movement will be protected. So even recently, we heard this court case winning of the Ritik Mayawads, and they were doing some false propagation, blasphemy, and all that against ISKCON. But because we have so many Prabhupada disciples, and they're spreading the movement, they've worked 50, 60 years of their life they have given to the movement. They're so pure. They have they have got nice disciples. They are doing the work so much that though they were trying to propagate falsely so much bad things about ISKCON, but it as a poison, but it did subside after 1 month or 2 months. So when these are false allegations, but if the movement is strong and pure, then it does get affected a little bit, but not so much. The movement keeps going. So yeah, that's also that's what Prabhupada mentioned, that these things will come and go in a human society. We are in Kali Yuga, these things will keep on happening, but purity, where there is purity, and follow the scriptures, then we can hold on to that's the root. And then Nityananda Prabhu and the Acharyas, then their mercy will definitely be helping and guarding like an umbrella the whole of the ISKCON movement, what Prabhupada's dream. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So follow the regulative principles. So for regulative principles, chant 16 rounds every day properly without any offenses. So these are the foundation for this kind movement. Prabhupada simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so he has established ISKCON just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay, so that is where the purity must be there, without any expectations. Ahaituki apratihata, atma suprasidati, without any material motivation and without any interruption. And then it will suprasidati, atma suprasidati. Everyone will be completely pleased, properly situated. So that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely read and well summarized. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have one Bhagavad Gita Sangha starting at 7 p.m. Okay, so that is from the announcements point of view. And dear devotees, if you have got any other objects or you want to share anything else, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to the Vaikunta, where we have been discussing in the Bhagavatam. The Jaya and Vijaya were considered Lord, and then four Kumaras. So the Lord is speaking very, very important things. It would give so many reflections, like about whether Hiranyaksha or Sisipala and Dantavakra, Ravnasura and Kumbhakarna, are they really sinful? So these things we can see it. The Lord is going to speak personally. Okay. If you have got any other things to share, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to Vaikuntha part. Okay, thank you so much. We shall move to Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the four Kumaras, they have cursed Jaya and Vijaya in the Vaikuntha. But later on, the Lord has mentioned that Jaya and Vijaya. So, Kadati Kurtyamam Yadvo Bahu Akratam Atikramam. So, Lord has started speaking. For a moment, they have forgotten me, and because of that, they have made a mistake. And then from there, the Lord starts speaking, and then later on, it ends like Kumaras ended up with that. Oh, my dear Lord. So, we have committed a big mistake. We have come to Vaikuntha, we have cursed Jaya and Vijaya, even though they are innocents. So in such a way, we have seen so many pastimes, their twists and everything. Lord glorifies Brahmanas and four Kumaras glorifies the Lord. And then meanwhile, entire situation was sorted out. And later on, the Lord says that this is Sapo Maiva Nimitaha Tad Aveti Vipraha. So this curse, it is ordained by me. And Boyha Sakasham Upayasata Atyovaha. This Jaya and Vijaya, they will come back to me. And then after, so this is Eto Suretira Gatim Pratipadya Sadjaha Sambramba Sambrita Samadhi Anubhaddha Yoga. Boyaha Sakasham Upayasata Atyovaha. Tapo Maiva Nimitaha Tad Avet Vipraha. So they will take birth in the Suretara, in the demonic species, and then they will act in such a way, Sambramba Sambrita Samadhi Anubadha Yoga. They act enviously towards me, but that is also Samadhi, always thinking of the Lord. So thinking of the Lord is called Samadhi. This is the same thing they have Mavo Nutapakalaya Bhagat Smriti Gnu. The Jaya and Vijaya they did not protest against the four Kumaras. They simply asked that, Brahmanas, if you have cursed, that is fine, but wherever we go, that we should not forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any times and circumstances. So that is Samadhi Anubadha Yoga. Even they have taken birth as a Hiranyaksha in the envious families towards the Lord, but that is Samadhi Anubadha Yoga. And Bhuyaha Sakasam Upayasata Asayo, they will come back to Vaikuntha very quickly. But this curse, O Brahmanas, O Kumaras, so whatever you have cursed, it is by my arrangement only. In such a way, the Lord says that one, and then the for Brahma is saying all these pastimes to the demigods, whatever is happening in the Vaikuntha. And then after hearing that from the Lord, the four Kumaras departed from the Vaikuntha. So when they are departing, they have taken the parikrama around the Lord. Bhagavantam parikramya pranipatyanumanya cha pratyagmuhu pramuditaha samchanto vaishnavim sriyam. And while they are Bhagavantam parikramya, pranipatyanumancha, they have circumambulating around the Lord, and pranipatya, after offering obeisances, Anumanya, after learning, and Pratijagmuhu, they have returned. And while they were returning, Pramuditaha, they are very extremely delighted coming from the Vaikuntha. Even though something has happened, they are very extremely delighted. And then Samsanto Vaishnavim Sriyam, glorifying the Vaishnavas opulence. So glorifying the Vaishnava opulence, because Jaya and Vijaya, they were cursed, but Lord's ordained desire is that. And again, Lord has protected Jaya and Vijaya also. So that one, here Kumaras are also glorifying the Vaishnavas who are under the protection of the Lord. And then later on, the Lord, so now Kumaras, they have left the Vaikuntha. Now the Lord spoke to the Jaya and Vijaya, saying that Bhagavan Anubhavaha Yatam Ma Vaishtu Astusham Brahmate Jaha Samadhopi Hantum Neche Matam Tumi. O Jaya and Vijaya. So he is saying to depart this place, but fear not. All glories unto you. Though I am not capable, though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval. It has my approval. The Lord also says to Jaya and Vijaya. So far, Jaya and Vijaya still under the protection of the Lord. Astusham, and all auspiciousness unto you. So the Lord is saying, all glories unto you. And then further, so this one, in the last session, we have covered until that verse, and also a little verse. Another twist here, the Lord is saying that, oh, Jaya and Vijaya, do you know one more thing? So you were departing from the Vaikuntha, it is already foretold by Goddess of Fortune. Yetat pureva niddistam Ramaya Krudhya Yada. She was a bit angry because Purapavarita Dwari. So previously, when she was entering into the Vaikuntha, so during that time, I was sleeping in my palace. At that time, you have stopped her. Purapavarita Dwari. Vishanti Mayuparate. So this is again, Lord reveals this twist. This departure from Vaikuntha was foretold by Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. She was very angry because when she left my abode and then returned, you stopped her at the gate while I was sleeping. So this is the one more twist in that Vaikuntha pastimes. So sometimes we see a great thing, big story has happened, but at the end, there is a small, tiny reason for it. And by looking at the tiny reason, we laugh. So likewise, in this Vaikuntha, so here is small thing that Goddess of Fortune, she has foretold that this Jaya and Vijaya, they are going to depart from the Vaikuntha sooner. Okay, so this was a twist, and then later on, we see what is further happening from the verse 31. So here, if we see once again pastimes of Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravanasura Kumbhakarna, Sisupala Dantavakra, though it appears on that particular pastimes they were sinful, but actually they did not have any prarabdha karmas or sanchita karmas like that. Though they have appeared and they have acted, and only within that lifetime itself. Within that lifetime itself. But actually there are Samadhi Anubadha Yoga. They're always remembering Krishna, they're always purifying themselves as well. And at the end, with the Krishna's touch, Krishna killed them. Okay, so we shall start further what Krishna is further saying. Okay, we are in the third canto, chapter 16, verse number 31. मयि सम्ब्रह्मयोगेन निस्तीर्य ब्रह्महेलनं प्रत्येशतं निकाशं मे कालेन अल्पयसा पुनः मयि सम्ब्रह्मयोगेन मयि सम्ब्रह्मयोगेन. So मयि unto me सम्ब्रह्मयोगेन, by practice of mystic yoga in anger. Practice of mystic yoga in anger. Nistirya Brahmahelanam, being liberated from Brahmahelanam, the result of disobedience to the Brahmanas. Nistirya Brahmahelanam. So that sinful activity needs to be completely nullified. That is being liberated from the result of disobedience to the Brahmanas. By what? Sambhramba yogena. This is sometimes the fire, either it is good person touches or bad person touches, a child touches or old person touches. As soon as they touch the fire, it will burn. Similarly, the Lord, um, Kamad, Bheshad, Bhayat, Krodhat, Yata Bhakteshware Manaha, Tadakam Hitva. And so Krishna was saying, people will come with desires, Kaman, Bheshan, with enviousness, and Snehat, and in many ways, different ways, they connect with the Lord, Yata Bhakteshware Manaha, Tadakam Hitva, and then completely free from the sinful activities. Like the fire burns everyone, whoever comes in contact. Likewise, whoever come in contact with the Lord, they will be purified. This is the Nistirya Brahma Heranam. This is the Sambhramba Yoga. Nistirya Brahma Heranam. What happens? Nistirya Brahma Heranam. And then Pratyeshatam Nikasham me. Pratyeshatam. And you will come back. Nikasam. And nearer to me again. Nikasham me. Kalena. In due course of time. Alpiyasa. Very short time only. Punaha again. See, those Jaya and Vijay will return back to the Lord again. After very short duration of time. So this is the shelter of the devotees of the Lord. So in case, even though they make mistakes, but Lord is always protecting them. Kalena alpisa punaha. Mai sambhamba yogena nistirya brahmaheranam. Pratyeshatam nikasham me kalena alpisa punaha. Okay, so translation and purport. So there are 3 paragraphs in the purport. And can I request the first devotee to read the translation and first paragraph of the purport? Another 2 devotees take turn, and one more paragraph, another paragraph, like that. Okay, can I request a volunteer devotees to read translation and first paragraph, please?
Can I read?
Read. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, the Lord assured the two Vaikuntha inhabitants Jaya and Vijaya by practicing the mystic yoga system in anger. You will be cleansed of the sin of disobeying the Brahmanas and within a very short time return to me. The Supreme Personality of Purpose Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead advised the two doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, that by dint of Bhakti Yoga in anger they would be delivered from the curse of the Brahmanas. Curse of the Brahmanas. Srila Madhva Muni remarks connection in the connection that by practicing bhakti yoga one can become free from all sinful reaction, even a Brahma Sapa or curse by a Brahmana which cannot be overcome by any other means can be overcome by bhakti yoga. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Can I request other devotee to take another paragraph, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. One can practice bhakti yoga in many rasas. There are 12 rasas, 5 primary and 7 secondary. The 5 primary rasas continue direct bhakti yoga. But although the 7 secondary rasas are indirect, they are also counted with bhakti yoga. If they are used in the service of Lord, in other words, bhakti yoga is all inclusive. If someone somehow or other becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes engaged in Bhakti Yoga as described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:25-15. Kamam Krodam Bhayam. The gopis were attracted to Krishna in Bhakti Yoga in a relationship of lusty desire, Kam. Similarly, Kansa was attached to Bhakti Yoga by dint of fear of his death. Thus, Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that even becoming an enemy of the Lord and always thinking of Him can deliver one quickly. It is said, Vishnu Bhakta Smarato Deva Asuras Tad Vipaya Vipanaya Yaha. Devotees of Lord Vishnu are called demigods, whereas non devotees are called asuras. But Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that both demigods and asuras can derive its benefits if they always think of the personality of Godhead. The basic principle of Bhakti Yoga is to think of the Supreme Lord always. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 1865, Manmana bhav bhaktaha. Always think of me. It doesn't matter whether which way one thinks. The very thought of the personality of Godhead is the basic principle of Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Asha Mataji if available? Please.
If in the material planets, there are different grades of sinful activities, of which disrespecting a Brahmana or Vaishnava is the most sinful. Here it is clearly stated that one can overcome even that great sin simply by thinking of Vishnu, not even favorably, but in anger. Thus, even if those who are not devotees always think of Vishnu, they become free from all sinful activities. Krishna consciousness is the highest form of thought. Lord Vishnu is thought of in this age by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we could move a little bit up. Uh, from the statements of Bhagavatam, it appears that if one thinks of Krishna even as an enemy, that particular qualification, thinking of Vishnu or Krishna, cleanses one of all sins. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya. Thank you, Mataji. So in this purport, so Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. So here, remembering Krishna in the anger mode. Sambramba Yogena, by practicing mystic yoga system in anger. That is also anger. And here, whoever is the devotees of Krishna. So here, in the Padma Purana, it is mentioned that Vishnu Bhakta Smruta Deva Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. Vishnu Bhakta Smruta is remembering the Lord. But is the only the devotees only can remember the Lord? Smruta Deva Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. And also, whoever is not remembering the Lord, they're all demonic people, asuras. The devotees of the Lord, so Smrto Daiva, they're all demigods. Here, Hiranyakshipu and Hiranyaksha, they're always thinking of the Lord in the angry mood. They're also thinking, but their mood is Sambhrambha Yoga. Okay, so here in this purport, Prabhupada is describing because of thinking of the Lord, that is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Achanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Shravanam. Shravanam is the first thing. Shravanam Kirtanam. So here Bhakti Yoga in the anger. And they would be delivered from the curses of the Brahmanas. And the Madhvamuni remarks in this connection that practicing Bhakti Yoga, one can become free from all sinful reactions. All sinful reactions. There is again one of the statement in the this statement is here. This is Papakshesha Bhavati Smaratam Atam Aharnisham. Aharnisham. One become free from all sinful reactions if one chants day and night, following the recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who quoted the following. This is Hare Nama Eva Kelam Kalo Nastiva Gastiranyatha. So this is here Papakshesha bhavati smaritam tam aharnisham, day and night. Ahar is the day, nisham is the night time. But one has to chant without any offenses. So, nama paradiktanam naman eva harantyagam. Avishranti prayuktani. Avishranti means without taking any gap, without taking any rest between the chantings. So here, aharnisham, day and night. Prayuktani, if one is engaged like that, tanyevadha karanicha. Then all this, the papakshayasya bhavati smaritam tam aharnisham. If all sinful activities will be completely cleared out. This is from the Padma Purana. Okay, so here it is describing here. Madhva Muni remarks in this connection, by practicing Bhakti Yoga, one can become free from all sinful reactions. Even the Brahma Shapa. So, Yovai Hirnyaksham Mahadbhutam Vikriditam Karana Sukaratmanaha Shurunoti Gayati Anumodate Anjasa Vimuchyate Brahmavadad Api Vijaha Vimuchyate Brahmavadad Api Vijaha. So, the Maitreya Muni says to I think this one is the Varaha pastime. Yovai Hiranyakshavadam Mahadbhutam. When the Varaha Deva killed Hiranyaksha, then Yovai Hiranyakshavadam Mahadbhutam Vikreditam Karana Stokaratmanaha Shrunoti Gayati Anumodati Anjasa Vimuchyate Brahmavadat Api Vijaha. Vimuchyate Brahmavadat. Even killing of Brahmana, that curse also will be relieved just by hearing the pastime, how Varahadeva has killed Hiranyaksha. That Shrunoti Gayati Anumodate. And whoever hears and also whoever describes and whoever approves and appreciates, they will all be freed from Vimuchyate Brahmavada Apidvijaha. So this is the Brahmana Shapa cursed by a Brahmana which cannot be overcome by any means. So this is Bhakti Yoga, appreciating the Lord, engaging all oneself in the devotional service, the hearing and glorifying, Shravanam Kirtanam. And one can practice Bhakti Yoga in many rasas. Again, this is Santa Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, Vashalya Rasa, and Madhura Rasa or Prema Rasa. So these are the 5 primary ones, and also there are 7 which are indirect, secondary rasas. And they are also counted within the Bhakti Yoga. They are used in the service of the Lord. So they are all inclusive. Bhakti Yoga is all inclusive. If one somehow or other becomes attached to Supreme Personality of God, he becomes engaged in the Bhakti Yoga as described in the Bhagavatam. Kamam, Krodam, Bhayam. What is this shloka is mentioning here? Kamam, Krodam, Bhayam, Sneham, Aikyam, Sahrudam, Evacha, Nityam, Haro, Vidhato, Yantan, Maitam, Hite, and the person who constantly direct their lust, anger, fear, protective affection, feeling of impersonal oneness, or friendship toward Lord Hari are sure to become absorbed in thought of him. So in such a one is always that's why sometimes we may think that some bad people in this material world, we always sometimes we point out and then we do not appreciate. Such kind of things also should not be done. This is again the Dharma mentions that, can you tell me who is the perpetrator? Dharma knows who is the perpetrator, but Dharma does not point out that towards the perpetrator. Parikshit Maharaj appreciates that you are none other than Dharma itself. So you are speaking, but whoever is pointing out to the perpetrator, he also will be sharing that sinful activity. So similarly, either good or bad, we do not describe about the material people, or even the bad. Some countries are fighting each other. They have got their own causes. We do not point out this country is good, that country is bad. We do not do anything to that. Dharmam Bhavish Dharmadhno Dharmoshi Rusharupadhruk Yad Adharmakasthanam Suchakasyapi Tad Bhave. And whoever is Suchakasyapi, whoever is pointing that this is not good, or this person is not good, he is the bad person, he is the perpetrator, then Tad Bhavet, and for him also that sinful activity applies because he is pointing out. So one should not do that one. So here, and then further, the gopis were attracted to Krishna by bhakti yoga in a relationship with a relationship of lusty desire, kama. Similarly, Kamsa was attached to bhakti yoga by dint of fear of his death. And again, giving an examples like gopis with the lust and Kamsa by the fear of his death. So bhakti yoga is so powerful that even becoming an enemy of the Lord and always thinking of him can deliver one very quickly. But sometimes we make some kind of words or statements against our devotees. Or this person is doing like that, or this person is not following, how to do it, how to deal with that. But such kind of things also we never point out or discuss. They're not doing, because even the discussion itself, that activity is there and indirectly pointing out the devotees. We never ever do it. If we have got such feeling, we keep in our heart only. We never make it will come out from our mouth. If anything is coming out of our mouth is only glorifying the Lord, only appreciating the devotees, only appreciating the devotional service, only encouraging the devotees to chant 16 rounds every day and follow the regulative principles. Only these are the words to be coming out. And if anything coming out, it is uh, shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, translations and purports of Srila Prabhupada. That's all. Nothing should come out of from the mouth of any person who is engaged in the devotional service, even about other devotees, about pointing out, talking about why they have done like this. It is not our business. We cannot change anything. If you wanted to do anything to help them, then we help them just giving some devotional service. Ask them chant more. Ask them to follow, associate with the devotees, hear Krishna Katha. Those are the things we do it. We do not show any materialistic solutions to the any devotees or friends. Okay, so that's why, because these things connecting directly with the Krishna. Otherwise, material solutions they will never solve. It will instead it will only increase the problem. So here, further Prabhupada is mentioning Vishnu Bhakta Smruto Dhaiva Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. And devotees of Lord Vishnu are called demigods, whereas non-devotees are called asuras. So Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that both demigods and asuras can derive its benefit if they always think of the personality of Godhead. So this is the one point of object, either for the demons or for the devotees. The basic principle of Bhakti Yoga is to think of the Supreme Lord always. Chetanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vraje. Eta Nirvidhamananam Ittam Akuto Bhayam. Yoginam Gapa Nirnita Hare Namanu Kirtanam. Hare Nama Anukirtanam. Again and again glorified Lord Hari's names. Okay, so that is the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhaktaha. Always think of me, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, Mam Yevasi Yuktaivam Atmanam Matparayanaha. So it doesn't matter which way one thinks. The very thought of the personality of Godhead is the basic principle of Bhakti Yoga. The first thing is we need to put the name of the Lord in the front. And here, one of the Prabhupada's conversations happening with one of the Christian preacher. So he was mentioning so that uh, Jesus was saying that Prabhupada was mentioning that Jesus says there is a name of the Lord in the commandments, or so one has to think of him. And Prabhupada says we are all chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which are the names of the Lord. So, is there any deviation from the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita? No, there is no. That preacher is completely agreed with Srila Prabhupada. So one is always Krishna has got innumerable names. He is omnipotent, and omniscient, inconceivable. He has got unlimited names. Krishna is Sanskrit word all attractive. Ram all pleasure. Haro and internal potency of the Lord. We are glorifying the Lord's name. Is there any mistake in it? No. Why don't you? It's a simple thing. Why don't you accept it? So he was very happy to hear all these things, aligning Bhagavad Gita and also the Bible statements. But people who are interpreting the Bible according to their own ways, Prabhupada was chastising them. They use as their modern ways of interpreting. It should not be. So one should take the instructions as it is, like Prabhupada was mentioning, back to Godhead as it is, whatever the language it is inherited, you put as it is. So here it doesn't matter which way one thinks, the very thought of the personality of God is the basic principle of the Bhakti Yoga. And here in the material planet, there are different grades of sinful activities of which disrespecting a Brahmana or a Vaishnava is the most sinful. This is tam brahmadandam anivarnam astrapugaihi. This is the offenses towards the Brahmana and Vaishnavas. That is brahmadandam anivaranam astrapugaihi. By any kind of activities, we cannot counteract this kind of curses. That's why Parikshit Maharaj, even though he was powerful enough, he did not counteract the Shringi, who is son of Shemika Rishi. The Shringi has cursed Parikshit Maharaj, but he never did any counteracting that one. Here, the Lord, he himself, Hantam Neche Matam to me, even though I'm powerful enough to counteract the Brahmana's curse, but I do not want to do it. It is Matam to me, my desire only. And here, the devotees, they never try to counteract, they never try to correct the situation for themselves, particularly for themselves when it comes to the personal end. So here it is clearly stated that one can overcome even the great sin simply by thinking of Vishnu, not even favorably, but in anger. Thus, even if those who are not devotees always think of Vishnu, they become free from all sinful activities. So Krishna consciousness is the highest form of thought. Lord Vishnu is thought of in this age by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Namaru Kalikale Namarupe Krishna Avatara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kalikalmashanashakam Nataha Parataha Upayaha Sarva Vedeshu Drusyate. If one sees all kinds of scriptures, there is no other alternative. Sarva Vedeshu Drusyate. So from the statements of Bhagavatam, it appears that if one thinks of Krishna, even as an enemy, that particular qualification, thinking of Vishnu or Krishna, cleanses one of all sins. So beautifully Prabhupada is describing. Okay, so I request dear devotees, if you have got questions or you wanted to share anything in this one, kindly ask or kindly share. Hare Krishna. So this is Mai Sambhamba Yogena Nistirya Brahmaheranam. Pratyeshatam Nikasham me Kalen Alpyesa Punaham. Sometimes one may be criticizing the Lord Krishna directly, but he is always thinking somewhere or other he is associating with the Lord. But however, in what dimension he says here, so many things, the examples of Hiranyakashipu, Sisipala, and also Ravanasura and their brothers. Okay. They're directly contracting the Lord. Okay, any questions here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Lord,
Yes,
yeah, Prabhu, Lord asked Jaya Vijaya to practice mystic yoga and they will be free from their sins and all. So what does it mean, Prabhu? Why Lord asked them to follow mystic yoga in anger? What does it mean?
So here, this is the Sambhramba Yogena. Sambhramba Yoga is the by practice of mystic yoga in anger. So now the Brahmanas have cursed Jaya and Vijaya. So Lokanito Vrajitam Antarabhava Drustya. Lokanito Vrajito Antarabhava Drustya. So that is the material world where the three material modes of nature. Papiyastriyaha ime ripo asya yatra. This goodness, passion, and ignorance. These are the enemies of a person. So in this material world, they have already cursed it. Now they have come to this material world. And here Lord is saying, once you go there, you always engage yourself in practice of Mr. Yoga in anger towards me, unto me. So means they will always anger with the Lord. So in the Hiranyakshipu and Hiranyaksha, if we see, uh, when Prahlad was always chanting the names of the Lord, Hiranyakshipu was very angry. And show me your Lord, I will just kill him now itself. And he is always thinking, of where is Vishnu? I will go to Vaikuntha and I will kill him. Likewise, Hiranyakshipu used to say those words. But somewhere or other, he is always remembering the Lord. That is yoga. Yoga means connection to the Supreme Lord, either by the names or the practice of the yoga, either meditation, yajna, dana, tapaha, karma, everything by only for the sake of Vishnu. So here, when you are doing anything for Krishna's sake, either in anger mode, that is also yoga. You are because connecting to the Lord. Lord's name is there.
Yeah, so whatever they were doing was Lord's will, isn't it? They were following Lord's will and pleasing Lord by doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
But the main thing is whether they are putting the Lord's name in the activity or not. Yet karosh, yet dasnas, yet juhosi daras, yet tapasvasi kaunteya, purusho madarpanam. Whatever you do, Krishna says to Arjuna, whatever you do, yet karoshi, yet dasnasi, yet juhosi, yet tapasvasi. See, everything, even though anger also. This is anger also. Somewhere or other you remember Krishna. Put Krishna in the center.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. One more thing, Prabhu, not related. You just mentioned about these four animals, camel, dog, and donkey, and one more. Can you just explain that thing again, Prabhu? How come they are um
So
not,
this,
they don't come in good category?
yes, Mataji. So here, the Savanakadi sages, they describe uh, about these four camels. The men who are like dogs, hogs, and camels and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. So, for example, sometimes we appreciate a person, oh, you did very good job, but he is not a devotee of the Lord. He never did glorify Lord Krishna. So at the time, we need to think in which category I am falling into. So here, Prabhupada gives a detailed description of each and every animal. Why? What is the propensity of dog? It is always um, obedient to its master and simply does whatever master wants. And hog, irrespective of time, place, and circumstances, it does it eats whatever it wants and it sleeps wherever and it, irrespective of relation, either it is mother or sister or daughter. Hog does that one. Camels, it choose the thorny fruits and then when the blood comes, the camel thinks that oh this fruit is very nice, but it doesn't know that the blood is coming from its tongue itself. That is camel. And asses is that it thinks that my master is giving grass, morsel of grass. So he is so kind to me. And so it carries tons of load on top of its body. In such a way, it works very hard. So that Prabhupada is giving here all. Would you like to read this, Mataji? For example, just you can read one.
From the camel, person who have no discrimination.
Yes,
A whole
Mataji.
thing. Okay.
You can read it.
Yes, Prabhu. The general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standards of life in spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in this verse, they have particularly been put on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. After finishing a so called education, the so called educated persons move like dog from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away informed of no vacancy. As dogs are negligible animal and serve the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves the master faithfully without sufficient rewards. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to hawks. Hawks are very much attached to eating stools. So, stool is a kind of foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatable for a particular type of animal or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetable, fruit, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not meant for the human being. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with two canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. It is known to everyone that one man's food is another man's poison. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Krishna, and the Lord accepts foodstuff from the categories of leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. Bhagavad Gita 9.26. As prescribed by Vedic scriptures, no animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animals to drive so called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aditi will take a turn for another animal, a camel. Sanchita Mataji, would you like to? Sanchita Mataji, would you like to read this?
Oh, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah. The camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or worldly life of so called enjoyment is compared to camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations just to make the best use of the bad bargain. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction of material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is not much more to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns the camel eats cut the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorn, the mixed with blood, create a taste of foolish for the foolish camel, and so he enjoys a thorn-eating business with false pleasure. Similarly, great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money in different ways and questionable means eat thorny results of their actions mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these diseased fellows along with the camels. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Can you request Ramlala Prabhuji, would you like to read the other animal thing? As Prabhuji is not available. Any other unallocated devotees, please? Any volunteers? Namrata Mataji, you can continue, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The ass is an animal who is celebrated as the greatest fool, even amongst the animals. The ass works very hard and carries burdens of the maximum weight without making profit for itself. The ass is generally engaged by the washerman whose social position is not very respectable. And the special qualification of the ass is that it's very much accustomed to being kicked by opposite sex. When the ass begs for sexual intercourse, he is kicked by the fair sex, yet he still follows the female for such pleasure. A henpecked man is compared, therefore, to the ass. The general mass of people work very hard, especially in the age of Kali. In this age, the human being is actually engaged in the work of a ass. carrying heavy burdens, driving thela and rickshaws. The so called advancement of human civilization has engaged a human being in the work of the S. The laborers in great factories and workshops are also engaged in such burdensome work, and after working hard during the day, the poor laborer has to again kicked by their fair sex, not for sex enjoyment but also for so many household affairs. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Can you please explain? Then okay, there is one more paragraph. Would you like to continue, Mataji?
Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam's categorization of the common man without any spiritual enlightenment into the society of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses is not at all an exaggeration. The leaders of such ignorant masses of people may feel very proud of being adored by such a number of dogs and hogs, but that is not very flattering. The Bhagavatam only declares that although a person may be a great leader of such dogs and hogs disguised as men, but he has no taste for being enlightened in the science of Krishna. Such a leader is also an animal and nothing more. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of man on the account of his atheistic temperament. Or, in the other words, such godless leaders of dogs and hog like men are bigger animals with the qualities of animals in great proportion. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, can you please let us know all that what are these four animals, Mataji? There are reflections.
Yeah, so in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is actually giving examples of these four animals and comparing uh, situation of the people in this society these days, how he's comparing men or people with these the lifestyle of these four animals as at what they do and how these people are working nowadays. So so he is comparing dogs because the dogs are always faithful to their master, though they get faithfully the bits of bread. Yeah, so they are always sitting the door of the master, just a piece of bread, and doesn't get enough reward or respect or anything in the society. They are always chased off. So similarly, people educated people are I mean just working, they get educated and only for to serve a master or a manager or someone in the factory or in a office, just for some food stuff or some for some little money. Similarly, the hog who is meant to eat uh, stools is so those who are eating food here and there, and the stuff which is rubbish, which is considered as a rubbish, uh, are are um, are compared with these hogs. So we are not man is not supposed to eat meat or other dirty stuff which we are in Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned that we should only eat the food which is which can be offered to the Lord and which comes under the category of fruit, milk, vegetables, grains, etc. Similarly, similarly, third kind of animal is the uh, camel. Camel is a foolish, I mean, he is considered as a foolish animal who likes to he loves to eat thorns, and when he chew them, he gets injured with the sharp ends of the thorns, and the fresh blood comes, and he enjoys the taste of that bloody thing in his mouth, and he thinks, but he doesn't know it's his own fresh blood. So similarly, we are I mean, the businessman, industrialists, they work very hard to earn money, uh, uh, risking their life, and as a result of their action, they are, I mean, they are kind of sucking their blood. So yeah, the great business magnate industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways, and even in the not the right way, illegal way, or other ways, and they risk them. So they are also considered as like disease fellow, Prabhupada is telling them. So the fourth category of the animal is the ass, who is the foolish animal considered in the society, always given as an example, those who are working hard without any result and just for little money, and he doesn't get respect by the other female as well. So he keeps getting he is always like he works so hard and doesn't get the respect or any consideration in the society, this type of people. So those who are working hard physically, like pulling all the thelas and rickshaws, so Prabhupada also consider them as a donkeys, and just for little money and food, they are um, working day and night in the factories and everywhere, just for little enjoyment and not remembering Krishna. So Prabhupada, in the last paragraph, Prabhupada is saying, Prabhu, can you just pull it up? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, a common man, so that's what Prabhupada is saying, the common man without spiritual enlightenment in the society, they are like these four animals, and nothing more than that, because they don't have or they don't want to learn the science of Krishna consciousness. uh, they are, they could be powerful strong people in the society, but because of their godlessness, they are considered as these four animals. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully described about this paragraph. Thank you so much. Okay. Any other questions, dear devotees? You wanted to add or ask any questions or share anything? Rita Mataji, Ramlala Prabhuji. Thanks, Mataji. You wanted to add anything? Ramlala Prabhuji.
Prabhu, did you say me? My name?
Yes, Mataji.
Uh, no, Mataji has explained it nicely, Prabhu. So I think, yeah, I think she will be clear on this point now. So yeah, thank you for giving. Bringing this shloka, and this is the best way of learning. Sometimes when we have doubts, and then you was a best Siksha guru we can have. So you just have so much the references you have so nicely. So you just bring them up and make us read and explain, and then the things become clear and the doubt gets that we are able to overcome the doubt. So yeah, thank you for giving the opportunity. Hope Himlata Mataji would like. Initially one time we also had this doubt, but then we understood, so I think she will also get the point clear in her head. Yes, she has explained it nicely there, so I don't want to add any such thing. Hare Krishna.
Any other points, Mataji? Mai Sampayogena Nisterya Brahma Helanam Pratyeshitam Vikashani Kalena Alpyasapanaha. Today's second bhakti yoga, the yoga in the anger, connecting to the Lord. Ramlala Prabhuji, available?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have question. So, Lord gave them Jaya and Vijaya option to choose three lives. So, one life was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaks. Second was Kans, and who else was there, Prabhu?
Second life is Ravanasura Kumbhakarna.
Ramban and Kumbhakarna. And third one, Kans and?
No, not comes. It is Shishupala and Dantavakra.
Okay, thank you.
Kansi is a different personality. So he was a Kala name in the previous life, who is also descendant of Hiranyakashipu.
Okay, and Dantavakra story, I don't know about Dantavakra. I haven't heard much about him, Prabhu.
Dantavakra, so he was killed of the Kali Yavanas in the Srimad Bhagavatam or Krishna book. It may be we can read that one. In the Bhagavatam, Dantavakra, I think he is the brother of Sisupala, seems. Brother of Sisupala. So he was killed after Salva was killed. The fight between the Salva. So Krishna kills him. So he also come. So Sisupala, Salva, Dantavakra, Jarasandha, and Rukmi. These are all one friend. They're just like a friends.
Okay.
So Krishna kills after Salva was killed. Krishna kills Dantavakra as well.
Dantavakra is not a famous personality, isn't it? I mean, maybe I don't know much about. I haven't heard about him. This story, Shishupal story, we all know.
Yes, and this one we could see Dantavakra. Demon Salva killing of
The down
Dantavakra.
one, yeah.
Yes, so this one after Salva was killed, and there is a Dantavakra. And this is battlefield. Would you like to read this paragraph, Mataji, and then
Yes, Prabhu. I'll read. I intend upon avenging the death of his friend Salva. Dantavakra appeared on the battlefield with club in hand. Lord Krishna took up his own club and come before him. In the battlefield, maybe another battle, na? It's not a Kurukshetra battle.
it's not Kurukshetra, it is battle with the Salva.
Okay. Dantavakra then insulted the Lord with harsh words and struck him with a terrific blow on the head without budging in the slightest. Lord Krishna bludgeoned Dantavakra's chest, shattering his heart. Dantavakra had a brother named Viduratha, and he became distraught at Dantavakra's death. Taking up his sword, Viduratha comforted Sri Krishna, but the Lord cut off Viduratha's head with his Sudarshana disc. Lord Krishna then visited Vrindavan for 2 months and finally he returned to Dwarka. Oh, he went to Vrindavana, Lord Krishna. But I heard that he never went to Vrindavan.
So he visited Vrindavan. So I think it is.
And
Yeah.
then he went to Dwarka.
Yes, yeah. It is where his Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that one.
Yeah.
So here, rituals, Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality. Vijaradha, okay, this is done. Okay, and having thus destroyed Salva and his Saubhayaship, Lord Krishna. Just seeing that statement, which shloka it is coming from. We visited Vrindavan. There is one statement. And here, Lord Krishna visited Vrindavan for 2 months. But I don't see where which shloka it is mentioning. Cut off Vidra's head is there, and then here, Danta Krishna, and this is Vijaratha and death. Lord Krishna Vailari. This Dantavakara's. 。 So this is the one. And then after that, this particular shloka, having thus destroyed Salva, his worship, and Dantavakra, his younger brother, all of whom were invincible before any company, Lord was praised by demigods, human beings, and great sages, Siddhas, Gandharvas, Vidyadhara, and also the Apsaras, Pitas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and Charya, as the sun glories and showed. The Supreme Lord entered his festively decorated capital city in the company of most eminent Vrishnis. Thus, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all mystic power, Lord of the universe, is ever victorious. Only of beastly vision thing he sometimes suffers defeat. And then Lord Balarama then heard that Kurus were preparing for war with the Pandavas. Being neutral, he departed on the pretext of going to the bath in holy places.
This is about Lord Balaram.
Yes,
Uh,
just looking for that statement as well.
Yeah.
That is that. This is Lord Balarama's pastimes, but I
Yes,
can't
Prabhu.
see that one, Mataji. So just see in only the summary only. So the Lord returns to Dwaraka, but visiting Vrindavana, Prabhupada mentioned here means when visited Vrindavana for 10 minutes. So this is that 78th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. But Prabhupada has given the summaries until 13th chapter of 10th canto. But later on, Prabhupada's disciples, they have continued the translations and purports for all the shlokas of Bhagavatam 10th canto.
Okay.
But I have not seen this reference yet, so it is not appearing in the any shlokas here button.
Yes, Prabhu.
Any comments, Ramlala Prabhuji, if you got anything on that one? And Mataji, do you have any information?
Hare Krishna.
So,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, do you have got any information? So, Krishna has killed Dantavakra and then Viduratha. And then Lord Krishna visited Vrindavana for 2 months and finally he returned to Dwaraka. Do you have any information on that one? Meena Mataji? Meena Mataji, maybe many information, details of it. Meena Mataji, have you heard about this first time?
It's okay, Prabhu. We will find out.
Sure, Mataji.
Yeah, later. One more thing I wanted to ask. This Prabhas Kshetra keeps coming again and again. Where is this place, Prabhu?
Prabhasa Kshetra, it is in the Gujarat, where near to Dwaraka.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
And so here Krishna visited Vrindavana people. So I think during the solar eclipse. So that particular time we would see.
Yeah, it was in Kurukshetra na, when they
Yeah.
came for this special puja.
Yes, yes.
So they came when Vrajavasi came there to see Krishna, to meet Krishna.
Yeah.
They were invited there. But yeah, but this statement needs more clarification, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, once we'll find it, and then.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank
Yeah, I was also going to say the same thing. Yeah, nicely pointed, Himmat Mataji. Thank you, as Prabhu mentioned, because after Prabhupada did not give the purpose for all of them, so they might not be knowing the proper pastimes, being like foreign devotees. So could be some kind of mistake, because as you mentioned, we do not see any reference. Like, of course, the next time Krishna meets the Brajavasis is in Kurukshetra. So when they are invited, and Radharani also, well, then they were upset because they had seen Krishna in a different form, and seeing them like as a charioteer so much dressed up, because Krishna used to be like a coward boy and was different there. So that they were not very happy seeing that, and they wanted to take, that's Rath Yatra is also a context that they wanted to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. But yes, I mean, this statement, maybe we have to like refer someone, if we take it's not, if it's correct, then we have to maybe refer senior devotees on this. But thank you for pointing that. So yeah, food for thought. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so we cannot see it, but if there is any reference in the different Puranas, like the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, any Puranas, we do not know yet, but we will find it out by any references. If it is no, then it is not there. But here, without any reference, they wouldn't have kept here. So that is what our assumption is, but we'll see, find out. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Any other comments or questions? Okay, so this is very beautiful shloka, and here this is the Sambhramba Yogena. After this, there are only few more shlokas. This is 31 shloka. Sorry, this is 31. And there are total 37 shlokas, and there 6 more shlokas. And where at the end, finally, Lord Brahma says that to demigods, so because everything is under the jurisdiction of the Lord, I cannot do anything, I cannot help you. But Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, when they're torturing the demigods. Demigods were just afraid, but even Brahma could not protect them because it is under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so those things further we would see later on in the further shlokas. It is describing this one here. So in the further shlokas, they were after this speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode where there are many celestial airplanes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. And then further, but those who two door gatekeepers, best of the demigods, their beauty and luster diminished by the curse of the Brahmanas, became morose and fell from the Vaikuntha, the abode of the Supreme Lord. And then further, then Jaya and Vijaya fell from the Lord's abode. A great roar of disappointment arose from the demigods who were sitting in their splendid airplanes. And Lord Brahma continued, those two principal doorkeepers of the personality of Godhead have now entered the womb of Diti, the powerful semen of Kashyapa Muni having covered them. And it is a prowess of these twin asuras, demons, that has disturbed you, for it has it has minimized your power. There is no remedy within my power. However, for it is the Lord himself who desires to do all this. So likewise, Brahma is saying to demigods, and my dear sons, Brahma says, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yoga Maya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. So that most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on the subject? So likewise, Brahma showing empty hands. I can't do anything. It is the Supreme Lord. Only we simply pray to the Lord. He will only rectify it. So with that one, chapter completes, but we will cover from the shloka 32 onwards in the next session. I stop here, and dear devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything, kindly share or kindly ask. Okay, so if there are no questions, no further sharings, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Prabhu for the wonderful session today. And it's always so nice, like our Srimad Bhagavatam session on Saturdays. So much we learn and share and reflection time. So Really enjoyed the sessions. Thank you for your time. And let's all say 3 loud Hari Bols to Prabhu. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the
Mm.
session.
Thank you, Mataji, and Hari Bol to all the dear devotees and the faithfully joining and Ramlala Prabhuji and for kindly giving your association. And hearing devotees and having association is so auspicious. Thank you so much. And uplift all the devotees. Because Krishna is the central point for anything. Krishna attracts. Krishna means all attract. Attract all the souls. That's a Krishna Katha is going on. Okay, so keeping Krishna in our heart and the devotees. So we shall conclude and continue for the chapter.
अनंतकोटि वैष्णव
Jai
की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Krishna.